right. Let's give an update on our 8-year-old kid who stole the SUV we talked about on the last show. We have an update on her, on the young lady. People are like, man, how she look? How she look? Oh, we know how she look now. Oh, we know how she look now. And I'm somewhat surprised.
I am very surprised. Very, very
Um,
surprised.
so I'm gonna read some more of what the mother said here. I'm gonna share my screen here for everybody, for y'all can see. That is the young lady right there, the 8-year-old
Yes.
that was had to stole the whip.
Stole the whip. Stole the whip. And like it's so funny because it's such a childish reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it. Hold on, let me
So
read something.
childish.
So I'm gonna read it here now.
And so I want people, when I say childish, y'all see how old she is. Some of y'all too old to be acting like y'all 8.
So
Yeah.
Zoe's trip was planned. So it says there, the copy says Miss Wilson said that her daughter had made a plan the night before to take the car, but Zoe had told her she did not have a destination in mind for her adventure until she accidentally cracked the iPad while leaving the house. So she figured she would go to Target to replace the case. When she couldn't determine what size case she needed, she shopped for toys and makeup instead. Now stop. So she already was going to steal the whip from the beginning, they saying. So she's like, I'm going to take it, but I don't know where I'm going to go.
I don't know where I'm going. Yes. That's so childish and petty. Like what? So what if she ended up in like the next city over, next town over?
So it's more. So it says, what led Zoe to take the vehicle? I had a conversation with them like, y'all stop arguing. Y'all go separate rooms. It's not that serious. But I really upset Zoe more than anything, I guess. If she's explaining it, it's more like her being the youngest and having sisters, and they're older than you. And she feels like her voice is not being heard. She has nothing to do everything they tell. She has to do everything they tell her to do. She said, so then the next one is, how did Zoe learn how to drive? I back my car into the driveway all the time. So all she has to do is pull out. But on my street, she has to make a left onto ongoing traffic and get down the other main street she was on. She had to make another left into ongoing traffic, which I feel like is a very hard task, especially for an 8-year-old. But I'm thankful for my car because it has lane sensors that make noise to notify you. And it has an automatic stop on it. So if she got too close to a car or tried to reverse and something was behind her, it would automatically stop the car. I think I helped a little, but I think 90% of it was just her driving off of using go-karts and watching me drive.
Yeah.
It says, so the next part is, if adults noticed she was by herself. She made it all the way to checkout. And this is one of the adults at the Target. And I asked her, did anybody say anything to you? And she was like, no, people just said, your dog is cute. Can I pet your dog? And I'm like, so even at the register? And she said, no. On the police department's Facebook. So I don't think it really bothered me too much in a sense. I think because with officers, sometimes things can go either two ways. So I was thinking, hopefully nothing dramatic or anybody was hurt. I think most of my concern was Target than anybody else. Then she said she grounded Zoe. How was Zoe after their deal? Well, the week after, she was upset about going to school. She was like, I'm worried because we're doing multiplication and multiplication is hard. And I'm like, Zoe, do you know how to drive a car before you drove the car the other day? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay, so just like that with multiplication. So that was encourage her to look at her schoolwork differently. So that's the story of Zoe, the young lady who stole what we talked about last week.
Because it wasn't nowhere near as bad as how the boy that said he wanted to do hood rat shit with his hood rat friends.
Yeah, hers was on some real thing at first, like, oh, I got to replace this case before they find out I broke this. Then when she couldn't find it, she was like, I'm here. It's because she's still an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm going to shop for toys, and I don't know what the makeup was.
Makeup. It's just so funny because I would have thought she would have took the iPad with her so they could have got her one. But here's the thing is that people come in, they could have probably thought she lived like in the neighborhood and that she walked. Nobody would have known that she drove. She didn't say, oh, I drove here. She was just checking out. And shame on you, Zoe, for stealing your mama wallet like that. That's not right.
I gotta pay for this somehow. I gotta pay for this.
But also, Mom, why you just got $400 in cash on you? And I get it, like, right? But like when you know you got kids.
You see my eyes though.
I know. Because I can't tell you the last time I had $400 in cash on me. And like my coworker, like the other day was just saying something about her not having cash because our warehouse was affected by the hurricane.
Yep.
And so how I was saying, dang, you know what? She was like, so they can't use, because like the town, like the power and all this stuff in this is small town. She was like, they can't use like their ATM cards, like they can't get money out. And so the company was giving them cash. And so I was like, oh shoot, not only do I need an earthquake kit, but I also should probably keep a couple $100 in that kit. Just because you just never know. So yeah.
But this the thing though, is that I was realizing maybe a few weeks ago, I was when I was in Chicago, I was out with one of my coworkers, and he was like, man, do you know how much crime would be decreased if you couldn't go to an ATM after a certain time? And I was like, what? And I thought about it. 100% correct. After 9 o'clock, there is no reason for you to need cash in that intermediate period before 8 in the morning or 7
unless
in the morning.
you at the strip club and you just gonna have to pay the fee.
But that's somewhat, you know, are prostitution, drugs, or you might get jacked at the ATM because somebody found, or someone jacked you and took your ATM card to the ATM.
Well, see, what they try to do now is, which is just, it's no help because you still have to go to your walk to your car. So, and a lot of I think they do it there now too, where you got to swipe your card to even go into.
But see, it's a trick to that though. I forgot what comedian was talking about it. He was like, man, I went to the thing, somebody couldn't get in or whatever. He's like, and they had the Pooh Shiesty mask on. And the card thing was, he's like, go swipe your card. So they swiped it. And the guy, he was like, oh, snap. So like he was like kind of trapped in between them and he didn't know what to do. And he was like, I'm gonna be done in a minute. So he got done and he left and he's like, okay, cool, OG. And just went and do their own business. He was like, he thought they was gonna take something from, but they was literally doing a real transaction. But you can also scan any card and get through that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you can scan any card.
That's the problem. It needs to beat. I mean, it can't be to the bank because they still want to get their fees if they, you know, from somewhere
after
else.
a certain hour, it's just like, hey, we just like how much?
Or only your bank. Only your bank can. You can get only your bank
after a certain time. But also, like I noticed out here, there's not a lot of drive-throughs.
Drive-through banks. Like in general.
In general, it's not a lot.
Wow.
Because at least if you was at like a drive-through and you see somebody in the bushes or whatever, or somebody roll up on you, I'm like, I ain't like, fuck that. I'm driving off.
Right.
Like with the quickness, like I'm going to risk, like my car might get a bullet, but I'm driving off. I'd rather, so, or I might bag into you, just like, oh, you want to do that? Oh, let's play.
They need to recruit this little girl for the CIA, though. This little girl, like we said before, she need to be recruited for the CIA.
Yeah.
The fact that she planned this out, she is only 8, so I mean, her mind was only gonna go so far to what she wanted. The fact that she planned it out the day before, stole the mama's wallet.
But I think she said she had. I think they said she had like a Nissan Rogue.
Yeah,
and so I have that. Like I just turned my sensor on in like the last year about the lane, and I mainly did it because people out here like to ride that white line, the divider. Why, I don't know. That's not what that's there for. But just so, like, if I move over, I just need a level of proximity, and then also it dings like if it is something like in my
blind spot.
So
you think that she realized that that's how she could do? Because she only hit She said the only reason she hit the mailbox is it was green.
Because it was what?
Green. That's what she claimed. Yeah. Let me go back into it. That's what she claimed. I thought on the thing. I only hit a mailbox and it was green. Oh no, she said it was only not because it was green. She hit a mailbox that was green. That's the only thing she hit.
Oh, well.
And I wonder if that's her trying to get out the neighborhood.
Yeah, probably.
And do you think that she realized that this is like it's some beep and let me move it over?
Likely.
But my thing is like, how can she even she can be tall enough?
So
like,
that's that road. So like she probably was sat all the way up and was sitting up and lifted that seat up.
But how did her feet hit the pedals though?
She was tall enough to get that. She was still close enough. Because think if you sitting close enough and you sitting up, you.
Oh, you somehow she done pulled it all the way up where she like there.
She up on it.
And I wonder how people didn't realize why she was driving. Or did people not paying attention?
Well, they said somebody had called.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's how I don't think it was Target that even called 911, like with the police officer. It wasn't like they was just even, we just so happened to be there at Starbucks getting an old-fashioned donut and a coffee. So somebody did call. They had reports of someone small they're like too small to be driving that car.
But hey, you Zoe, you cool with me.
That is cool.
This article in the New York Times too.
Yep.
So shout out to you, Zoe, man. Look, I know
Sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down, but you got a future though. You got a future in something. It can go either two ways for you, Zoe. I hope you do the right way.
Right. Don't end up like the one boy. Hey y'all, if you like what you see here on Everyone Needs an Aquarius, be sure to hit that button right there. It'll take you to more clips, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. See you back next time.